It's going to be a weird one this week.
Oh, God.
Of course, if you've already seen the title, you know this is about to get absolutely crazy. Welcome back to the Clowntown Chronicle, everybody. Your weekly show that digs into the news without giving you a black pill. It's been an amazing, crazy, busy, freaking week. Like, I feel like I'm going half insane with the amount that's going on. The short version is we have a bonus episode coming out for you probably Wednesday if I can get everything done. It was an interview with the notable commentator and history expert Newsfist. I know Adam listened to it. Adam, did you like it?
I did. It was strange to hear you talking with somebody who had almost matched your charisma.
Well, charisma with an English accent. That's all I can say. It was very charming to listen back. It was like, oh, we're like friends, but like from across the world. All right, I won't make it weird. It's good. I think everyone's going to like it, but that's going to be your bonus on Wednesday. You get all this for free, everybody. All of it for free. I actually heard from him prior to recording the show that he was like, I stopped watching. He was checking in on it to see what it was like. And he's like, I stopped watching when you were watching the guy do the review of the KFC gravy nugget bowl. He was like, what was that? He said the whole car looked diseased. It was pretty great. We do not have a nugget bowl review for you this week.
That made him stop watching?
No, that's where he stopped watching.
Oh.
Yeah, like, I know that's what it sounded like he quit because it was so disgusting. But that's just where he quit watching. But anyway.
I'd like to believe he was just so disgusted. He was like, no more.
Yeah,
no more of this show.
He was, how can these degenerates watch this on a weekly basis? We have all kinds of fun things to watch. But the musical choice here at the beginning, I of course made this with an AI because I'm cheap. I had to type in the word theremin into the song description. And Daniel, do you know what a theremin is?
Actually, no.
Okay. You want to find out?
Yes, actually.
Because you do know, you've just never heard what it's called. All right, so this is a theremin.
The theremin is an electronic musical instrument. It was invented in 1919 by a Russian physicist, Leon Theremin. Besides its unusual appearance, the theremin is also unique in that it's played without being touched. The theremin typically consists of a box with two metal antennas which create an electromagnetic field. The musician stands in front of the instrument and moves his hands in the proximity of the two antennas, which forms a capacitor between his hands and the antennas. The capacitance of the electromagnetic field varies by the distance between the player and the instrument.
So, Daniel, this looks pretty weird, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks weird. I do know what it is now because I've seen it before, but I thought it was called something else. Not that. I don't remember what I originally thought it was called, but I do recognize those.
Yeah, it's how they get those creepy alien sounds. It's a little bit like an entire instrument dedicated to our truth music. All right.
I think it's also in the Cryontology button.
It is in the Cryontology button. Where is that?
It could be called, well, you could call it a religion of religions.
Bloody peasant!
Yeah, Cryontology. That's what that is. That wah, 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 wah. I'm sure you guys have no idea why I'm talking about the theremin.
I am hoping that it leads to something paranormal or truth related.
Oh, it will. It will. We have another long one to get through. It's not Ben Shapiro, and I know that was amazing. We're going to talk about Candace Owens. but later. First, we have to get through the typical stuff. Of course, everybody this week was trying to keep up with Minnesota, or as they call it on No Agenda, Minnesota nuts, right? They're nuts. They're absolutely, those people are nuts. I didn't know we had an entire state full of crazy barn animals until, well, 2020. And then I was reminded this week.
It's like
you could do
Minnesota's like all the cringe of the West Coast without any of the benefits.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
You
you're
could do-
already suffering. Why are you doing this to yourself?
you could do a whole episode on just Minnesota. They're like the other version of like, Florida guy.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's just that bizarre.
but not nearly as based as Florida Man.
Yeah,
Because-
it's not nearly like crazy, wacky fun. This is just like crazy cringe of like, oh God, I can't believe they exist.
This is like sad at this point. It's like sad.
Did you? I know I sent you this, but I don't know if you got to see it. Did you see that that tweet I had sent you in a text message today about what was going on there?
Read it. I do you have it, Wendy?
So it's on me, but it's a video attached to it. So the whole thing is that so now after the whole thing and protesting outside the ICE building, they're dumping gallons of water in hopes to slip the ICE like officers as they're leaving, just cause like them to fall over. And I was like, what's next? Are we painting like a tunnel for them to hit? Like the Wile E. Coyote style?
You know what they should do?
Boy.
They should do that Berenstein Bears thing at the race and just drive in front of the ICE vehicles and dump boxes of nails out the window. That's what they should do.
What is this Looney Tunes style of protesting? We're like, yeah, we'll inconvenience them, put a painted tunnel in the way. Now we'll pour water and freeze it over.
Yeah,
It's
let's
just like
let's just
mild
drive
annoyance.
Let's just drive in front of a federal installation with our license plate on full view and spray water everywhere to cause grievous bodily injury, perhaps death, to people that we disagree with in the government. That seems like a great thing.
The best part is how they're doing it is it looks like they take like old like maybe like laundry like detergent bottles that you have to press to like drop the liquid because it's like little streams behind the vehicle. And it looks like somebody just half-ass put it together. I was like, what is going on here?
Minnesota, it's hard to Google. Minnesota ICE protest water dump. I don't know. How can I find
It's like
it?
a Kevin McAllister protest. It's like, are they going to throw paint buckets down on strings now?
Yeah.
So I was like, what's the next? Are we going to paint like fake tunnels, and put it up in front of like entrances?
You're going to put Christmas ornaments all over the road?
What was the
it was on Twitter. I don't know who posted it. I have to look at it again from the text message I sent you.
Yeah. Let's look it up. I want people to see this. Who posted this? Was it Nick Sorter? We'll find it. We might as well look at it because we still have to do our funny stuff. But National Guard Humvees have been spotted in Minneapolis ahead of a mass protest by Soros-backed Indivisible today. Okay. But where's the video? Come on. Sorter's on the ground there, right? Gathering all this himself. Is that right?
Apparently, it seems.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he actually is.
This was on the 15th.
The 15th. Okay, so that's got to be here somewhere. Right there it is.
3, yep. I mean, look at that. That will do him. That will teach him. Let's freeze it. Just inconvenience. It's all inconvenience.
They brought their Ogrim here, or their Ogren. Depends on which mythology you like. It's Ogrim for Morrowind, right, Adam?
With an M, yeah.
Yeah, Ogrim. They brought their Ogrim. I prefer that guy.
You know, it'd be funny. While that's happening, then a salt truck comes down and just lays salt.
Oh, they're still wearing the duckbill masks with the stupid
the
goggles.
diaper chins on.
Yeah, I wonder why you would carry a pizza box like that.
It's like, wait a minute, I didn't see the pizza box.
So this is what the new Dungeons and Dragons looks like. You got your hobbits with a pizza box. You got your ogres. You You got everyone is of course plays as the thief class.
Wait, hold up, Aaron. We gotta take a shot. There is a "Your boss is a Nazi" poster in the back that somebody's holding up.
Really? Oh,
yeah,
no.
it's right above the person with the blue hat. When you pass, there was a cardboard cutout.
Let's see.
Right there. So
right here.
Way in the back.
Yep, that was it. There was a zoomed in spot where I was reading it and saw it.
I know. Okay, so I did actually watch this clip.
Right there.
You realize you have to spray these people with giant hoses, right? It's the only way to make them go away.
Make them ice.
You know what they should do? They should airdrop a giant bucket full of banana peels just in the middle of this.
There's the LARPer right there.
Where? Which one?
So it's the person with the camera, but their plate carrier is also not on right.
Oh, over here?
No. He's actually right in between the person with the pizza box and the guy looking.
This guy.
That guy. There was a section where he was fixing his camera, but the plate carrier shifted. I don't know if it's him, but there was someone else that had one that looked similar, and it like shifted upward and it was falling down backwards. So I don't even think there's anything in it. I think it's just autumn.
It's a tactical vest. I don't know, man.
At that point, it is because there's no plates in that, and it doesn't even look like it's sized right.
This is all so stupid. Actually, since we're on the topic, I might skip ahead a couple here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 tabs ahead. Let's see if we can get it. Boom. Nope, that's a joke. We'll come back to that. Yeah, so this is what they're doing. This is the kind of shit they've been up to.
We have noticed a select few using the inflatable costumes to denote a message of peaceful and joyful resistance. We, however, are not interested in peace. This is not the time for peace. That is not an option on the table. Fascism has arrived. The state is building concentration camps. Trump's secret...
Did you guys watch the new Nick Shirley video on the Somali fraud?
No, not yet.
So I
no, but I've been keeping a tab on it though.
So there's something that happens multiple times, where instantly when he goes up to these guys and like, hey, can I enroll my kid or whatever? Because he's still doing the same shtick for the second video. They use the same lines. They're like, you're just hate Muslims. You're just a racist. And then the last thing they say is, they're going to put it there. You're the type of person who would put the Japanese in concentration camps during World War II. And I was just like, listen, I know you saw that like 10 years ago on BuzzFeed or something like that, but you do understand we were at war with the Japanese Empire in World War II, right? We had to put foreign nationals, even if they were legal immigrants, in prison camps, which weren't that bad by global standards at the time, in order to make sure that they weren't enemies walking amongst us. It was almost 100 years ago. Times were different. But those are the 3 lines that they repeatedly use. You're going to round us up like the Japanese and put us in concentration camps. I don't think so. The reason they had to do concentration camps back then was because flying everybody home during a war was kind of a big deal. We're not at war with Somalia right now. Now, are we?
I say, gee, it's almost like the U.S. is like a melting pot of all different types of cultures and races, so you can't really trust each other at home.
Well, not anymore, because if you like America and you want to stay here and you follow the law and like earn your keep and do American things, you're now a Nazi. And they call you a Nazi no matter your skin color. That's the
American dream at this point is just becoming a Nazi, it seems, because everything that would have been aligned with the American dream is the Nazi, it seems now.
Yeah, and that's where these retards pushing this crap have gotten us. Like, I am friends with plenty of old-fashioned liberals who are like, yeah, the lefties are they're the Nazis now. And it's like, it's because it's this backhanded, like, we love everybody because everybody's super different and weak and needs the help of the government in order to survive. They're not directly saying it, but they believe many of the same things. That's why it's simultaneously cringe and not that different. But I mean, they are just idiot totalitarians involved in cryontology. And that's why they go out and they dress up in giant zebra costumes.
Our adorable form with passivity. We are uncomfortably aware that there is no comfortable way out from here. You see, Operation Inflation is about one thing: disorienting fascist control of the narrative landscape. We are not responding to violence with nonviolence. We are not responding to excessive force with whimsy. We are responding to fascism with anti-fascism. Fascism requires a constant reduction of social phenomena, for their loyalists are incredibly gullible, emotional, resentful, and stupid.
This is where we are.
We have knights versus inflatable animal costumes.
I saw this guy in a clip. I don't think I included it. I don't know why he had to wear the helmet.
I mean, why not?
Well, I mean, everybody else is LARPing, right?
I mean, yeah, might as well. I mean, the guy's out there going ready for another crusade, you know? Let him have it.
Just joining the world's stupidest Ren Fair.
I want to sit here and I want to say this isn't real, right? This can't be real.
It's in categorical refusal. The form itself denies the narrative. Absurdity doesn't seek legitimacy within their framework. It renders the framework itself absurd.
I mean...
What do you think, it's AI?
No, I mean, obviously the voice is fake, but, like, is this really, like, them trying to explain this? Because we know it's just ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm lost.
What do you mean?
The more and more we dig into this, the more and more like we're just reading someone's really bad manifesto. It's just at that point.
Yeah, I know. There's people, there's people with a lot of different ideas about why this is going on. Like this guy, for example. This guy thinks it's a woman problem. Now, you could be mistaken. Well, you might have listened to the last episode and thought that that's what we were saying, which is why we included the very feminine men at the end who were all like, we're going to go get our guns. It's like, dude, you're not going to do anything. Come on. I thought this was an interesting hypothesis.
I think I know what's going on.
Hang on. He's too darn quiet.
In Minnesota, a lot of those women are female incels. That's what you're looking at. You're looking at a bunch of women who genetically are supposed to be the matriarch of a family, are supposed to be loved, doted on. Somebody actually cares about them. But 40% of white women, finito, right? Nobody's touching them. They're single and childless, right? And I think what happens with women when they are incels, they do this sort of suicidal empathy shit. Because if you weren't an incel, why the fuck do you care? If you were at home and you're getting good loving, why would you care about if a Somali is raiding the U.S. government or not? You wouldn't care, right? But they're angry at the world that nobody loves them. And that is what I have to say about white dudes. Y'all need to take one for the team and freaking do something about that, okay? Take one for the team. Yes, they're 800 pounds, but take one for the team anyway.
No way. Not gonna happen, man.
I was with them till the end. I'm sorry.
Look at his face.
He knows.
Yeah, I remember.
He knows.
I remember Jordan Peterson saying something about these women years ago, and he was like, yeah, we need women to stand up and take down their harpy sisters. And that made me laugh. But this guy gets it. I mean, look at his face. It's just.
Well, I think he's dead right about the first part of that, at least.
Yeah.
It seems like these people joining, or these women joining these protests or these causes, it's sort of a projection of their insecurities. Yeah, I mean, obviously there's some psychological element to that where it's like if I dole out enough compassion and love for these people that don't give a flip about me, maybe that'll pay off. Maybe that's why they have so many cats.
Yep. Well, I think you're right.
They don't understand what like a healthy relationship looks like. They just rather feed the parasites.
Yeah. And that's what it is there's this overdoing it love bombing that comes from these toxic types.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. It's very, very toxic. Like if you're in a relationship with a woman and she starts acting like that toward you and treating you like a little baby, you're about to be in like some of the worst fights of your life. Like you're going to be clinging to your sanity. And she's going to be simultaneously mad at you and not be able to get enough of you because she's like, I'm giving you all this love. Why don't you give back what I've given you? And you're like, what?
Do you think there's like a scorekeeping element to this? Where it's like they think if they earn enough social credit with these poor, pathetic people that need their help, they're going to get some kind of reward for it?
I don't know. I think that's the hope. But they sit around supporting each other until, one of them decides it's not their intentions weren't pure, or they feel like they're the one's getting more attention than they are. That sort of thing. I actually have a clip about this. We're only going to talk about this briefly, and then we're going to get to a couple hilarious things, and then we'll go straight to Candace Owens because we're going to watch pretty much the whole thing. But this is something that I dug up that was related to this.
I've seen so many creators touch on this, and I feel like I need to add my 2 cents because, say her name is for Black people. That was because y'all were not doing the things that y'all were supposed to do to cover these stories. Injustice was being served. So we were saying, say her name so you know exactly who it was. This was a person, this was a human. Now, this does not apply to this situation in Minnesota. This is not a say her name situation. Injustice, absolutely. Say her name, negative, partner, negative. And I almost feel compelled to also say, when we were saying to say her name, the masses that were not people of color, more specifically Black people, y'all were not saying the name. The solidarity out of nowhere is crazy to me. However, like, rest in peace to that woman.
Oh my God, this is 3 minutes long.
No, there's more.
Oh, Jesus.
They're basically, she's talking about you can't say her name on Good, who was shot by ICE. That's one take. Let's watch another one.
It's crazy, but say her name is for Black people.
We should always speak the names of victims regardless of who they are. Say Her Name is a movement started by Black women, for Black women specifically, and it's not appropriate to use in regards to Renee Good.
Hi, good morning. What happened to Renee Nicole Good is so important, and we absolutely need to be talking about that. She deserves a hashtag and everything. It should not be Say Her Name. Say Her Name is reserved for Black women. Thank you.
Say Her Name is for Black women. It's for Black women. And maybe if you had fought harder for those Black women, we wouldn't be where we are today. But
this is so amazing
for those Black women.
Why?
It's just the infighting.
Oh yeah,
this is like
they'll
watching
eat
the snake eat its own. Yeah, I was like, this is the snake eating its own head, and it's just doing itself.
Yeah,
what
Adam,
is going on?
Daniel, Adam, come on, man. Like, wouldn't you want to take one for the team?
Oh God,
save a Femcel today. Sign up. Do your patriotic duty. I can't imagine why a man wouldn't want to date this person.
It's a suicide mission. Like, literally, that's what's going to happen within a year.
Attempt it.
No.
You would just get a box, just get a bag of popcorn and just watch the show. Like, that's way more entertaining than trying to fight this head.
If you presented a man who stormed Normandy with go toward that pillbox or go toward this woman, I think he'd pick the pillbox.
I think I'd pick the pillbox.
All right.
It's at least an opportunity for glory. Yeah, no, but the infighting thing is amazing. I love to see it because it gets basically like a Reddit thread.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they have to correct each other. They have to fuss over every little detail. Yeah, and it just warms my heart because I know that it's going to end badly if they keep that up. Like, yep. I mean, you remember when we were in the atheist phase and I was going to go to a convention in Milwaukee but then I ended up not going because there was so much infighting and drama over Sargon of Akkad being there.
Yeah.
I think they borderline canceled the event, and I think that was like when the cracks started to show, where I was like, oh, this is not good. It's funny, I was reading, I still get newsletters from these people, but I opened one up today because I was like, I wonder what these idiots are up to these days. It's all political.
Oh yeah,
all of it. And it's like nothing, it has nothing to do with like what I found interesting about atheism at first. It's like, it's all like anti-Trump, and that's the thing is like, they're like, yeah, there's anti-Muslim bigotry all over the country. I'm like, you're an atheist.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck do you care?
Yeah, because it turns out that the atheists that we were getting to know at the time didn't have, I mean, Christians are going to laugh at this, but it turns out that most atheists didn't have principles. I'm shocked. Yeah, because we saw that happen. And I knew it was over. The moment that the whole like reason thing, excuse me, the moment that the whole reason thing and we're more rational than Christians thing started to get replaced with another religion, I was like, it's over. It was never going to last because you have ideologues in your ranks. And the whole point of atheism was you just didn't have this sort of a belief. And they just...
The whole quote unquote movement got vacuumed up by the woke stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was really kicking off by the time I was like about to leave college in like 2015. It was like around the same time people started putting up all this crazy propaganda all over the walls. I mean, it was an art school, to be fair, but I just remember like when I realized that, oh, I don't really think I want to be left anymore, was I was going up the stairs to get to class and somebody had put these signs everywhere that just said microaggressions are real.
Oh,
and it was like on the door, and I was like, I'm sorry, I need to go finish my degree and portfolio so I can get a job.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing is like when we dropped you off there, it seemed like a serious place, and at your graduation, it didn't seem like a serious place anymore. And
no, it devolved rapidly.
Yeah, I mean, look. You got to take one for the team, man. It's the only way to save America.
I'll see you in hell first.
All right. We don't need to hear any more, unless you'd like to. Would you like to hear some more from the...
Oh my God. What's with the glasses? Like, is this a reclaiming, like, power thing where they wear these, like, stupid 1960s tortoiseshell glasses?
No, they wear the giant glasses because they're insecure, and it's the closest thing they can wear to a mask while working in a corpo cuck job. If they have one.
They should wear a mask too.
Yeah, well, especially this one. Oh my God. Lord Almighty, have mercy. Oh.
Let me hear just one more of these idiot takes.
All right.
Say Her Name chant was created by Black people for a Black woman by the name of Sandra Bland. Okay? That's the only reason anybody should be saying say her name if it pertains to...
See, you know what the problem with this is, lefties, is your entire movement runs on energy and emotion. You don't have space for autism. Right? Hair splitting is not your thing. Stick to spraying water on the roads and yelling you're a Nazi over and over and over again. That actually does something, but hair splitting about your ideology and arguing, oh no, bad move. Strategically, very, very bad move. You don't want to do this. I should not be, autism is for right-wing people. Okay.
Hey, maybe if they get autistic enough, they'll start wondering about World War II.
Yeah. Well, listen, and that's the thing is like, it's not even like I can agree or disagree with this point that say her name belongs to Black people. Like, fine, whatever, if that's the case. But I'm just telling you, this is not the gas of your movement. I should not be giving advice.
I think what's interesting about this compilation is that I don't really care when it's a Black person saying that.
Uh-huh.
I'm amused when it's a white person saying it, especially this one. My God.
Well, we've all known one like this. Hang on a second. I had to take
you saving this for later?
It's a soy jack.
It is.
Right? It is. It's a soy jack.
It's an evolution.
All right. Okay, so we've got just a couple fun things to cover here. Let's go back to the beginning. Adam, you were telling me something about health gurus recently. You stopped listening to them because they were like, nothing is right.
Well, it can be addicting, and it can give you like what is it called? Hypochondria. Yeah. Makes you like super paranoid about everything. So yeah, I stopped watching that stuff, even though I think it's good to know about like supplements and stuff like that, and you're not going to learn shit from your doctors. So,
well, you're in luck because we have the peak.
Oh God.
Of health advice.
Wearing suit, optimal for social status. Triple locks on doors, optimal for avoiding burglaries. Hopefully chicken was not inflamed during lifespan. Wooden cutting board, good. Poking chicken, optimal for tender meat. Putting chicken into microplastics, terrible. Hopefully sauce is natural, definitely isn't. Spreading sauce on chicken, beneficial for flavor. Using unfiltered water, not optimal for health. Toxic pot, terrible. Hot water is causing plastic to leach into food, atrocious for health. Hopefully clothes are 100% cotton for optimized hormones. Solid muscle, beneficial for metabolism. Hopefully underwear is cotton to avoid damaging sperm quality. Wearing tight shirt, beneficial for showing muscles.
This is kind of what it's like to be in the health space.
Yeah.
But like, people are trying to figure out what the hell is going on. This is actually, so not to bring this back, but Newsfist and I are going to actually do we're going to have another conversation, another interview specifically about his theory of control, which is very similar to my theory. What's happening here and what's happening in the health space since the main narrative fell apart is basically like a power struggle, but the zone is just flooded with so much information. You're like, are protein shakes good for you? And you look it up and the AI is like, they could be considered good for you in some cases, but if you drank 2 gallons, you might get sick. It's like, I just need to know if it's okay to drink a protein shake this morning.
Well, I think that's the biggest problem with it, is that it creates unnecessary stress, which leads to health problems and bad habits.
Well, yeah.
So it's like if you're constantly worrying about every chemical, and that's the thing is like, I kind of felt this way when I was like really worried about EMF. Like there are people who sell you all these like things, like these little stickers you can put on your phone, or shungite bricks or whatever. It wasn't until I read what's his name? There's a book called The Invisible Rainbow by such and such. But anyway, I listened to an interview with this guy who's an actual expert on it. He's been researching like the effects on birds and stuff. But he said, yeah, you can't escape EMF unless you like paint your house with aluminum and turn it into basically a Faraday cage.
Yeah.
So you kind of just have to get over it. But if you listen to all these other people that are trying to sell you stuff, it's like, oh, well, I can escape it if I plant organite in the ground. It's like, no, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
But, like the more you're worried about it, the more stress it creates, which is bad for you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Arthur Furstenberg, that was the author.
Furstenberg, that's right. I knew it was a Berg something, or a Fursten something. Furstenberg. Hey, Daniel, you gave us a clip, or not a clip, but a story. What's going on with Animal Crossing?
So, for anybody curious, Animal Crossing, big game during COVID. You bring in, I guess, cute little villagers to your town. They're all animals and stuff. But somebody decided to go the extra step and turn it into VR chat on another scale. The whole adult scene is insane on this game now, it seems.
There should not be adult anywhere near the phrase Animal Crossing.
It should not be, but that there is.
Themed Animal Crossing New Horizons Island has closed its doors as its creator claims Nintendo has deleted its Dream address, stopping visitors from seeing its raunchy secrets. As reported by Automaton, ex-user ChirpCCC is the player behind the so-called adult-only island, which has been alive and kicking since 2020. It includes everything from its own red light district to a love hotel, strip club and casino. It might just be...
How do you do? Maybe I don't want to know. How do you do a strip club in Animal Crossing?
There is ways. There's 100% ways. I've seen videos.
Shame.
There's no shame because people have also built actual dungeons and had like I want to say it's almost like masks heads, like a head of a person that they kind of make it look like it. And they've plastered everywhere in these basements, and this guy freaks out over it.
Oh,
because he shows him off, and I'm like, yeah, there's definitely a will, and then there's a way here to do something like that. And I just never thought they would ever do anything like that because it's a cute game. It's a game made for kids.
Can we accept that perhaps games made for kids that allow internet access are hotbeds for creeps?
It is 100% hotbeds for creeps because you can see Roblox doing the same thing.
Right.
I just don't know why you do this in Animal Crossing when you could be building Dollar Generals in Valheim.
Well, as funny as that is, the reason they do these things is because the more innocent thing they can get, the bigger the win, basically. At least that's the best way I can understand it. Because Roblox is pretty stupid. It's for children. And that's why they target it? I don't know. Let's hear a little bit more about this.
The opposite of the wholesome experience Nintendo had in mind when creating the game. Well, now it's claimed that Nintendo might not have taken too kindly to the island, even if it's taken more than 5 years to do anything about it.
It was up there for 5 years?
Yep.
Nintendo's been too busy with their lawsuits.
Well, they've been too busy just taking action against anybody who puts a video up on YouTube about anything Nintendo related.
Yeah.
Using anything that seems roughly similar to Nintendo shit. It doesn't matter. They don't care about what's going on in their games. They care about what you're posting of their games.
That is so stupid. Why are giant companies this way?
Why are people this way?
Actually, just a day before the update, the Dream address for the adult island was deleted by Nintendo. ChirpCCC claims in a post translated by Automaton. To Nintendo, I apologise from the bottom of my heart. Or rather, thank you for turning a blind eye for more than 5 years. Of course, the user only says this removal applies to their Dream address, which is a separate thing to their actual saved data. So the island almost certainly still exists in its base form, it just can't be visited by the masses anymore. And given ChirpCCC's apology, it doesn't seem likely that they'll be attempting to reopen anytime soon.
Well, good. Oh, God might have had a point with flooding the entire planet.
Every day, Aaron, I keep thinking, do you believe that the reason why God's not around or doesn't talk to us is because he is too afraid of what he has created?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm leaning on that more and more every day, that he's just like, what have I done? I want nothing to do with this anymore. Let it be on its own. It'll eventually eat itself.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the idea. Unbelievable. All right. Funny one. Let's do a funny one. So you guys know people who use big words to sound smart, such as most journalists?
Sure.
Absolutely. And it's a rather disconcerting, befuddling, bamboozling question you're asking. To get to the nucleus of the question, we must first ask ourselves, what is the crux, the crucifix, the croutons of this particular piece of postmodern, pre-colonial, post-Renaissance English literature, which of course is the very foundation, the substratum, if you will, of the gerrymandering, circular reasoning, gesticulation, prostate examination, Californication, Inquisition, that was popularized by the late Duke Aubrey of Graham.
I mean, I know people like this.
That's how I write.
Oh, come on.
I can't talk that fast.
Oh, well, No, I brought this up, of course, because this is an examination of midwits. They learn words. So, you know what's funny to me is like the wrong way to learn vocabulary is to do like flashcards.
Sure.
But it seems like a lot of smart people just memorize a lot of words and generally get the vibe of what they mean. The right way to learn words is to learn the root language they came from. And then you can read almost anything from there.
You remember how Microsoft Word used to have a synonyms button?
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, I remember I had a lot of sentences in the stories I would write as a kid where it sounded exactly like this.
Yes.
Because the synonyms it would recommend were just like totally ridiculous.
Right.
But I'd end up, because I couldn't help myself, because I was like, ooh, that's a good sounding word. My paragraphs would just be littered with like ridiculous, like old timey words that made no sense.
Yeah. It's
like I'd be writing a fantasy story and it would suggest like lock, stock, and barrel is like a suggestion.
Yep. It's a child's way of understanding language. But I mean, this is to be expected in the retardation of our culture that continues apace.
I would rather people talk like this than say things like bet.
Come on, really? It's the same thing, isn't it? It's a word that a lot of people can't understand. It's kind of limited to a certain window of people that can understand, and it's a signal of who you are. It says more about you that you talk this way than you're saying it all with all of your syllables. Just saying. Anyway, all right, that might be enough nonsense. Is this it? Is this all I got? Hang on. Let me look at my list one more time here. Oh, yeah. Do you guys want to do like 2 clips on anti-Semitism?
Sure.
I told you, because there were some pretty funny things that happened this week. Number one, Jonathan Greenblatt is back. He's back, baby. Don't you love that face? I missed him.
Greenblatt sounds like a species of beetle.
He aged. Hasn't he aged since we've seen him? He looks older.
He's like aged like a banana. He's just gotten like slightly darker.
Well, I mean, he looks like he's been losing sleep or he's been crying. Like his eyes he just looks tired.
So he looks like a banana that's been dropped one too many times. He just kept getting bruised.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
stepped on by the Minneapolis protesters.
Greenblatt is so tired, man. He's just tired. Not like Michael Rappaport, by the way. Vote for Michael Rappaport for mayor of New York City.
He only gets stronger every day.
He does. That
laugh is amazing.
Yeah. Should I play the Rappaport laugh? I feel like I should, just since...
Yeah, at this point you might as well.
Rappaport was mentioned. All right,
do you want that laugh in my nightmares? It's always there.
Do you want to...
He's our only hope.
He's our mascot, man. But anyway, do you want to watch Greenblatt saying some stupid things again, or would you rather watch a hilarious story about fake anti-Semitism?
Why not both?
How about this?
Both, yeah.
Let's do this one first, just because it's ridiculous.
Police have taken a young Meadowbank woman to court, alleging she left an anti-Semitic voice message for a well-known nutritionist just days after the Bondi attack. But the accused's lawyer says it was an accidental pocket dial, and the charges are a massive overreach.
What police allege was an anti-Semitic threat, the defence says was anything but.
This seems to be a case of charge first and answer questions later.
Serena Tanuri charged with harassing Mandy Sacker, a nutritionist of Jewish faith she'd never met but seen on TV and social media. The alleged offending contained in a voicemail 1 week after the Bondi massacre.
All of the circumstances of this case point in one direction. It is an accidental call.
Serena's lawyer noting his client, who works at Bunnings, has a severe intellectual and cognitive disability supported by the NDIS.
She's not anti-Semitic. She doesn't even understand the conflict.
It's alleged Serena sent a text to Mandy, writing, "Hey, how are you? Is this Mandy? I saw somewhere that you helped Katie from Married at First Sight with her nutrition. I was wondering if you could help me as well, Serena." Around 5 hours later, a call from Serena's number went to Mandy's voicemail. No voices were heard on the recording, but Mandy claims she heard sounds she believed were gunshots, causing her immediate fear and nervousness.
It could
for
be
God's sake.
Explain what just happened here, Adam.
Sounds like this lady wanted some health advice and then left a voicemail accidentally.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody assumed there were gunshots in the background.
Yeah.
That's so stupid.
I'd love to hear the voicemail because apparently it was enough to get this sent all the way to court.
This is Australia, right?
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
What, that they're going to court for this?
Yeah, you should see some of the other crap going on there. Their legal system is nothing but a cesspool of nothing but a bunch of garbage.
But that's what we do. Why is this allowed?
So it's crazier because our cesspool of problems for court system and legal system is actually not as bad compared to Australia's. It's horrible.
Really?
Yeah, there's a guy who was saying, like, making fun of a politician there, saying he looks like Mario, and it's like almost like the Xi Jinping looking like the Winnie the Pooh, and got bad upset about it and banned it. Yeah, the guy sued the guy for this and saying defamation, and then also feeling distraught and it hurt him personally. He felt attacked. The guy won. The politician won over this because in Australia's legal system, you are guilty until proven innocent of it.
What?
Really?
Yeah, you're not innocent until proven guilty. There, you're guilty till proven innocent.
I mean,
so you're automatically at fault no matter what happens. You have to now prove you're not at fault.
He got in trouble for saying a dude looked like Mario?
Yeah, he made some shirts and was selling it and they're like, he was just flipping out over it because he was getting made fun of. Don't worry, the guy got him back because I guess he was using his house. The politician was upping his house as a bed and breakfast to people, and the guy who was making fun of him decided at the same time, screw it. He brought a bunch of people over there and just had a complete orgy in the bed and breakfast.
What the? How is this not on the show? This is a better story than this.
This is super old. I only know about because I was following it for a while. Just like it was wild.
Oh my God.
So there was a whole thing that later on you find it might be tied in. I'm not going to say it's probably tied in, but it might be tied in that they firebombed the guy's house that was actually getting in trouble for this.
What?
So the politician might have hired a mafia group to throw some Molotovs through his window, allegedly. It's a wild story. It's crazy. It's pretty old, but it was pretty wild. But yeah, that's Australia.
If you find a clip of that or a video on that, I would love to see this.
It's all on his YouTube. It's the whole story.
Oh my gosh.
I had to send you it.
So anyway, thank you for that aside. It actually does bring a little context to this, but like, I mean, come on, Adam. If you got a voicemail from me, okay, say you got a voicemail from a stranger. Forget me. Like, if say you got a voicemail from a stranger and you heard what sounded like gunshots in the background, what would you do?
Delete it and block the number.
I'm not even sure I would block the number. I would just
I'm so used to rapid fire, like, blocking scammers all the time that if I don't know the number, it's blocked.
Well, okay.
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a stretch to get an accidental, like a voicemail that sounds like nothing, but you assume that it's gunshots. I mean, I don't know. If they did it again, then I'd be worried.
Yeah. But, I mean, she sent you 2 texts. Hi, is this Mandy? I saw somewhere that you helped from Katie from Married at First Sight with her nutrition. Can you help me too? And then a pocket dial while she's standing near a jackhammer later. Probably out doing like a little walk to try and burn off a few extra calories. And the next thing you know, she's being called up for committing a hate crime.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know.
Does this look like a person who would do a hate crime? Come on.
Well, I mean, this nutritionist lady looks like definitely the kind of person who would be like complaining about everything.
She's got them Scientologist eyes. I'm just saying.
I was gonna put more like she was probably just sitting at home, put her phone back in her pocket while watching like a Marvel movie with explosions or something.
Probably.
Yeah. Honestly, or watching Sopranos, reliving the good cinema days.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
it's just I don't know. It's like a reflection of how everybody's just way too sensitive these days. Like you remember, like there was that lawsuit in the late '80s, I think, where that lady went through the drive-through and got the coffee that was way too hot and spilled it, and it like that's like what people look at as like, oh, America is like the country of silly litigation. I don't know if you look into that story, like the lady sustained serious injuries and the coffee was way too hot. But like back then that was like a big deal. It was like, oh my God, we're going to court over somebody spilling coffee on their lap.
Yeah.
Because you know why it went that direction?
Uh-huh.
You know why it went out that direction? That was like, we're suing someone over, to the hot coffee.
Mm-mm.
Do you know why it went that way?
Why?
Because it was McDonald's and their coffee was like over like what? It was boiling point. I think it was what it was temperatured at.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's super illegal in the first place to be handing something that hot to somebody. But the whole like lawyer team for McDonald's was pushing it as like to like news media saying that look at this lady suing us over hot coffee and that she spilled on herself. So they pushed it hard and campaigned it to the point where people did not believe her at all. And we're trying to buy the favor, and kind of swayed the jury on that one and the judge on it to get it to go in their favor, which is why we believe it that way.
Yeah, well, I mean, she still won, and that
good.
But the public opinion, their PR campaign, like I would regularly hear that story cited where people are like, yeah, well, you could just sue over spilling coffee on yourself and get $1 million. It's like that's not how that went at all. She had like 3rd-degree burns.
Well, you know how it works. In the 1980s, there's a PR strategy to try and save face from McDonald's. And then 30 years later, there's Saints Row 3, where you literally commit insurance fraud for points. That's the modern world. All right, let's get to Greenblatt, and then we're going to get on to our main topic here. Now, I don't remember what he was saying, but there's a reason I saved this clip. There was another clip going around from Daily Wire, Turning Point, where one of their speakers, advocates, content creators, or whatever was saying that we need to basically start jailing people for anti-Semitism, which we've heard before, right? We've heard that before. And probably what he's referring to is lefties, which we all applaud, and we're like, yay, put them in jail. We don't like them. Greenblatt's been saying the same thing for a while, but, we haven't really heard from him since the whole we've lost the Gen Zers, that leaked phone call or whatever. Yeah. Let's see what he has to say in the year of our Lord 2026.
So number one, we measure and track. Number two, we monitor and disrupt. We have a whole apparatus. I have 40 analysts working full time, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, monitoring extremists. We monitor them online, social media, messaging apps, video games, cryptocurrency, podcasts.
You know what I'm hearing? I'm hearing that Jonathan Greenblatt listens to the show. Hi, Jonathan. We love your work.
Short form video.
I like his stealthy yarmulke that just keeps peeking over the top of his head.
Yeah. I would push the fat, bald retard, but I think he works out.
Under that suit, he could probably kick your ass.
Yeah.
Cryptocurrency, podcasts, short form video, Wikipedia, LLMs. We monitor these people and we share the intelligence with the FBI. You saw last month, you heard about the thing that happened at Wilshire Boulevard Temple. Our analysts investigated what happened. They said they were Koreatown for Palestine, this group of people. They weren't. We were able to ascertain they were from a group called the Turtle Island Liberation Front. Turtle Island is how like left-wing activists refer to the United States. They don't call it America. They call it Turtle Island.
Why? Do you guys know why? Have you heard of this?
No.
Can we look this up?
Nope.
Turtle Island. What is this? Primarily refers to North American name for various indigenous creation stories where a turtle's back forms the continent. Wait a second.
Oh my God.
No, really?
That's so dumb.
Using Turtle Island honors indigenous heritage, promotes ecological respect, and challenges colonial perspectives by framing North America as a living entity cared for by its original peoples. Okay, I'm starting to see your point here, Mr. Greenblatt. I know he's like, we need to arrest these people for being cringe.
I'm just looking forward to going out this summer and collecting a Regal Greenblatt for my insect collection.
A what now?
Remember I said a Greenblatt sounds like a species of beetle.
Regal Greenblatt. You should Regalus Greenblattus. Just put that on the scientific name for the Regal Greenblatt. Be careful though, Adam. He might accuse you of anti-Semitism for that comment.
America, they call it Turtle Island, like the Iranians call it, the Zionist entity, right? They only call it by its name. The Turtle Island Liberation Front, we gave them a whole dossier. What is Turtle Island Liberation Front? What are their ideas, their goals? Who are they? We identified the people who are in the synagogue. This was on Wednesday, December the 10th. On Monday, December the 15th, this is going to ring a bell. Kash Patel announced they cracked a terror ring where they arrested 4 people who were playing New Year's Eve bombings. Turtle Island Liberation Front.
Okay, so just a couple of points here. Greenblatt is very good at this. There's a reason he's always the guy on the mic. He's a good speaker. But my thoughts about this PR is perhaps play it cool and ridicule these people for calling it that. Right? Instead of acting like taking this all so seriously and being like, we found it again, the Turtle Island Liberation Front. You know, that's what they call it. Like, he should back out and be like, you know what they call it? You know what they call it? You're going to laugh. They call America Turtle Island. And then you look down at people. You're like, Turtle Island? Really? Okay, that's cute. What were you going to say?
Well, it's like once, even you looked up why they would call it that, and it's just immediately cringe.
Yeah. So he could play it that way.
Yeah.
But the way he's doing it right now is very, very in line with a lot of, ADL stuff. And the tack that they've taken for decades is this hurt, scared. It's either hurt and scared and we're going to do something about this, or it's brutal.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is, if he were to ridicule them, that would be a good way to get more conservatives on the side.
Right.
Know what I mean? If you're attacking what they hate and making fun of it, I think they'd be a little more receptive to the message. Not that, a lot of conservatives need persuasion, but, there's a lot of people that have doubts about Israel right now.
I couldn't help but notice his, 90s We Are the World blanket over here. I don't know what that is. That's weird.
At least one of the people I know for certain was in the building at Wilshire Boulevard Temple, vandalizing it and disrupting the event. So we're monitoring left-wing radicals like the DSA and the anti-war crazies and the pro-Palestine crazies. We're monitoring right-wing extremists like white supremacists, armed militia groups. We're monitoring political Islamists and Christian nationalists, all of them. And then we train. We're the largest trainer of law enforcement in America, extremism and hate. We train 20,000 officers every year.
Well, that's a lot. And by that, I mean, that's spreading yourself pretty thin. Why is this so important? I don't know.
Yeah, I was listening to Nick Fuentes on Sam Hyde earlier today.
Wait. Sam Hyde interviewed Nick Fuentes again?
No, it was from 6 months ago, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess I mean, despite us talking about this all the time, I never really thought about just how deep the system goes in support of Israel.
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying everything Nick said is true, but it was the first time I'd heard somebody speculate about how insidious it is.
Yeah. Well, it's quite simple, because when you hear politicians talk about this subject with such passion and fervor, and then spend less than 2 seconds addressing American concerns and showing zero interest in it, that's when you're like, well, we know you know where your bread's buttered, and now we know where your bread's buttered, and when are we going to have a serious conversation about this? And it can't happen right now. I mean, it's happening regardless whether we want it to or not. And when we started the show almost 2 years ago, we were having these conversations almost right out of the gate. And it really blew up on October 7th. And it's like all around me, this topic has become extremely popular. I heard freaking Destiny say like a couple of weeks ago that it's passé to talk about Jews now and to talk about Israel, and that everyone does it. And I was like, that's weird. Because I remember a time when you were like a super radical person if you even like mentioned those things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think that's where people like Mr. Greenblatt are responding to this. Because it has become passé. Like, I'll go out, for lunch with some coworkers who are all on the left, and they'll just casually throw out slights against Israel, and it's like 10 years ago.
Yeah,
you just didn't go there.
Nope.
Now it's just kind of like, well, everybody agrees with me about this, so it's interesting.
They will say things you can't even believe. It's crazy. But anyway. So before we get into our main topic here, because we are at the halfway point and there's no way we're going to get into all of it, I think we need to talk about our donations. It's going to be a very, very short segment.
We still need money.
So broke.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not even hurt, because our only donation comes from Tom, and he gave us the big number. He gave us 777. And he said, love you guys. Roger, Roger. So much love from Texas.
There's something special about seeing this page, and it's just Tom, and it says "Love you guys."
Yeah, isn't it kind of pretty?
He'll always be there, the most interesting man in the world.
I couldn't pick a better every week donor than Tom, because you're right. It's not a joke. He's a very interesting person.
Every time it's something crazy and wacky. Every time he posts this in the Telegram, I was like, dude, who are you?
You know what? I'm gonna give Tom a button blitz. All right. I'm just gonna start pushing buttons that I like. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
Any requests?
Oh boy, I don't know. I think a good smorgasbord of everything that you just slap your hand down on top of on it.
Yeah,
whatever you hit hits.
How about some old ones first?
Ooh.
Yes! Hell yeah! Hey, come on, baby! Come on! Yes! Come on!
White butt statue.
Yes!
This is not a joke. You're
Strudel
not
believes
dissociating.
there should
You're
be
so
some limits.
You're not dissociating. Literally taking food away from starving babies.
All right.
Wow. That was a throwback.
Yeah. They're all still there. I just forget to use them now because it's not as exciting.
I forgot about Strudel.
Oh, yeah. Strudel. Oh, man. Where was Strudel? Strudel's under mockery.
Strudel believes there should be some limits.
That's still really good, but I still miss the Mr. Peanut.
Oh, I got Mr. Peanut. Hang on. He's got his own page.
Mr. Peanut is here.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you're so powerful.
Yeah. I mean, we got so many good buttons. Anybody could request any of these, but everybody's broke now. I get it. I get it. It's fine. It's fine. Let's get into our main topic, and that is the weird world of Candace Owens. Now, we've talked about
to that point, though.
What?
I was going to add, hey, listeners, I know tax season's coming, so how about you do your share and donate to our tax fund?
Yeah. Yeah.
When tax season arrives, when you get your money back, if you pay it in too much. We would love to see some of it.
Yeah, that was pretty good. You're getting your return here. It's going to feel pretty good.
Well, it's looking a little heavy over there.
Yeah.
Lighten the load a bit.
You're looking like you're doing a little too well in Trump's America.
A bad credit card, you bastards!
Okay, can we get into Candace Owens now?
Yep, go ahead.
All right, so I'm going to skip her little intro here. Now, the reason I'm playing this is because I heard Candace Owens, I heard from other people that Candace Owens had said Charlie Kirk was a time traveler. Okay? I heard this from other people. And I didn't believe it. So I had to go listen to this entire. It's not an hour long, I promise.
Hang on. How old is this whole episode?
This happened like 3 days ago at the time of recording. Okay?
Good God. And she's still on this?
Yes. But she's new to the Charlie Kirk as a time traveler thing.
I thought she would have moved on after how much she was really trying to continue this whole conversation about him. I honestly thought she would be like the media and be like, all right, a couple weeks it went by. Let's move on to the next thing.
She is the
How would anybody wants to do that and like, milk the content for sure, whatever, but damn.
No. She is the little schnauzer that grabbed onto Erica Kirk's coattails and will not let go. And
so this isn't the first time she's talked about Charlie Kirk being a time traveler.
This is the first time that I know of that she's literally said Charlie Kirk was a time traveler.
This is great. It's like an hour of truth.
Okay, but I know you. I know you're excited. We're not going to watch a whole hour. We're going to get through as much of it as we can. I'm telling you, the interesting stuff goes only about 35 minutes. But we're just going to let her go and we're going to react to it because here's the reality, man. I like her. I'm not proud of it. I like her spirit, but she is freaking on the fringe. Not for me, but for MAGA moms who listen to Candace Owens. All right. Now
she's like a gateway drug.
Funny you mentioned the word gate. We'll get into it. Let's let her go.
Everyone in the chat right now saying, yup, it had a cornucopia. I knew you guys were my people. I want to start by saying that the way that I feel, the way that I think a lot of you feel, the vibes that are surrounding us right now is that the deep state is in some sort of a panic, right? We've acknowledged that over and over again on the show. Something doesn't feel quite right. It feels almost like we are at the beginning of the end of a long satanic run. That's why, just so you guys know, despite the obviously sobering reality that the world is run by these people, I'm pretty optimistic every day. I can't explain it. I don't know why. Things are obviously coming apart, but things have to come apart before they can be put back together. And they're just getting sloppy. And if I could put it into a sentence, I would say that it's almost as if our awareness is the threat, right?
Huh.
She's entirely right so far. Just saying. She's exactly right, according to me. Moi, your humble host. But let's carry on. Got to get to the time traveler section.
Right? Awareness, just our being conscious of what they are doing, somehow spells their doom, which is bringing me to wanting to discuss today, as I promised you, the CIA's Looking Glass Project. Now, we briefly touched upon this at the end of last episode. Obviously, I'm a conspiracy girly, and I'm thrilled that we get to dive a little bit deeper on this topic for those of you that don't know. The first thing that I want to remind you guys is exactly what I said at the top of the show. It is an absolute fact that Charlie Kirk thought that he was a time traveler. He told me he was a time traveler repeatedly. I showed you guys that text message exchange. I said to him in response that I didn't feel the same way and that I thought I was from another planet, that I was an alien my entire life. Just
there's something so funny about the juxtaposition of her just like looking like the normalest person on the world.
Yeah.
Like an attractive woman who is talking about the craziest shit.
I know.
There's something that's just so amusing about it. It's almost like it's an AI video.
I know. That's why I had to see it for myself, because when I was seeing clips of it, I'm like, this can't be real. She's not saying she's actually an alien, right? Let's move on.
Like with her studio, her studio looks like she should be talking about like Bible 101 or something.
Yes.
Like she should be doing like a really basic like Christian podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But then she's talking about Charlie Kirk literally telling her he was a time traveler.
Adam, what kind of...
I know.
Are you like a baby truther? Don't you know that time traveling, the Gate program, Stargate, and all of that stuff is the Bible?
Oh, no.
I'm telling you. Let's keep going.
Here. This planet is ghetto. That's how I feel. I don't understand it. The rules don't make sense. I think that's also why I like cats so much. I feel that they can relate to that. They think humanity is ghetto. They don't want to be around us. They don't like us.
Wait, so you're telling me, Adam, when your cat looks at me, she's just envisioning fiercely the N-word? That's what she's saying with her little pea brain? That I'm ghetto?
Well, my cats can say it because they're both black.
Oh, God. Okay.
They know it's ghetto. It is ghetto here, right? Well, another bizarre fact is that back when Charlie and I were running around, we met in 2017, top of 2018. So I would say, obviously, Turning Point was an organization, but it wasn't the organization. It wasn't this behemoth of an organization that it became. No, he had no real degree of fame. I think that's fair. But he was required to have security on him at all times. That was orchestrated. His security, Schaefer Security, was orchestrated by Bill Montgomery. He has since passed, the late Bill Montgomery, and he was from the military. He founded Turning Point USA with Charlie. Charlie wanted to go to West Point, and then instead started Turning Point USA when he was 18 years old. Thinking about that, the security, him texting saying, "I'm not allowed to go anywhere. I feel so important," I think was the exact message. That to me is objectively weird in retrospect. It wasn't weird at the time, it's weird now. And it makes me think that Charlie may have been marked since he was a child. We've discussed these GATE programs that they have in school. And I just think on the basis of what he told me, that when he was really young, they wanted to drug him, but his mother said no, and he was really grateful for that. And instead, they decided that they could send him to this X-Men school. That's the best way I can describe it. I would certainly, by the way, for you internet sleuths, I'd like to find out which school Charlie had to attend. So he was.
Adam, you know what a GATE program is, right?
Yeah, my fiance was in one.
Do explain.
It's funny, we were just talking about this last weekend. What it sounds like is just a class where they select kids that they think could be future CIA agents. The projects that they did were like very diverse and broad and required thinking outside of a box. I can't remember any of the projects they had to do specifically, but it was essentially like education that you wouldn't get in school, where it encouraged like creative thinking with serious consequences about problem solving. But yeah, I don't think she passed the class, but obviously, well, I don't know, maybe she is a spy, but it sounded like some kind of a Freemason initiation process.
Yeah.
Where you wouldn't know if you were giving the right answer. Like you could give the correct answer, but you might not be giving the right answer for them to, write your name down for future reference.
To borrow a word from Jonathan Greenblatt, there is a dossier on the old gate program there in the FBI vault. And some of the tests they gave in some of these courses, a lot of this started, I think, God, I can't remember the year. I think it was the 60s or 70s. Either way, some of these tests involved like checking for like telepathic powers. And like if you could move pens with your mind, and if you could see what was on the other side of a sheet of paper or a playing card.
Wasn't that Project Monarch?
No, that could have been part of Project Monarch, but Monarch was very different from Gate. But all of them were like straight out of the headspace of an intelligence agency that had dosed itself with LSD.
And that's how we got Stranger Things.
Yes. Daniel, what do you think of all this Gate program stuff? Have you heard of this?
I actually have not. This is the first I'm hearing about it.
Oh, yeah.
I find this is really interesting.
You should try to find a truther video on the Gate program. A lot of people, when they hear about this for the first time and they go look it up, they go, oh, I was in that. People like reports of being taken off to special rooms that they didn't know existed inside of their school and being made to wear headphones and listen for sounds that weren't there. That kind of thing. And being forced to do like very simple but strangely complex puzzles to see if you could think outside the box. It's very interesting. The way I would characterize the era of the CIA that came up with these things is like you have to imagine like a room full of dudes like in Apollo 13, just like a bunch of nerds in a big room with a bunch of computers, and some of them were trying to send a rocket to the moon. And the others were trying to send a rocket into your mind. But anyway, if you read about this stuff, it's like the CIA at a certain point became very interested in occult practices and black magic because basically they wanted to weaponize the mind. And so they were looking for people who they could use in this way.
It is interesting thinking about, like, the more you learn about these projects that they were all doing, it kind of all falls under the banner of like, we will do literally anything to maximize our power.
Mm-hmm.
In the interest of, over the years, it depends on the enemy that they're fighting. But like when it started, I believe it was like the OSS right after World War II turned into the CIA, right?
Yes. Well, yes.
But I think that's kind of like where it makes sense that they would get into all this weird stuff because it's like, well, we obviously have plenty of people working on missiles and rockets and stuff like that. But we have all this money. So maybe we should research this like psychokinetic, telepathic, telekinesis, time travel angle.
Right. Well, you have to also understand, just a teensy bit of history here. The OSS was populated by people who in their 20s were all doing occultism in college. It was such a thing that C.S. Lewis wrote about it. Orwell wrote about it. All of these writers that, you think of as just like a stuffy British person who fought for the empire. What? These are people who were reading all of this stuff. Because it turns out that the British Empire imported all the secrets from the entire world. And there were a bunch of Poindexters picking through them looking for ways to make girls like them. And they learned some extra things. And they formed little secret clubs. And this is actually just history. This isn't like some creepy book you got to find at an antique store for 50 cents on the bottom shelf. If you look at... Go ahead.
Sorry. I was just going to say, I mean, I'm sure you've gone through like the CIA and FBI's FOIA records, right?
I mean, obviously not all of them, but yes.
I saved a bunch of it years ago when I started getting into conspiracies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the breadth of crazy stuff they did. Like, I have a document that's saved where it was like in the remote viewing files, but they just had like dossiers on every planet, the civilizations on those planets, how to get there.
Yeah.
Like all this, like, and that's the thing is you don't even know if like these results were real, but this was the kind of stuff they spent time on. They spent time on basically any form of intelligence.
That's right. That's exactly right. And if you think about it, like, again, you think about NASA or a rocketry program, they're like, are they really going to be like, no, it's against our morals to use this kind of an engine to get us out of the atmosphere, right? Are you serious? It's a program for the government at a time of total global dominance. Empires do this at their height, at their peak. That always happens. So are you telling me an intelligence agency for the United States government and basically all Western powers wouldn't look into every possible angle? Like the best thing, I brought this up with Newsfist. The best way of understanding what the CIA was trying to get into is allegorized in the video game Control. That's a weird ass game, but it's a visual representation of what they were actually trying to do. Like, for example, in the game, characters wear these vibration inhibitors on their chests that protects their hearts from a negative frequency. It's an allegorization of things that the CIA was researching.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say one more thing about this, and I think we should continue. But
yeah.
Like a small microcosm of, I think what we're getting at here can be found in big business. So, like, I was trying to justify or explain to somebody what my job was the other day. They're like, well, industrial design, what's that? And I'm like, oh, well, in short, it's basically like architecture for products. And they're like, well, why would you do that? Like, isn't it just all about the engineering and everything? And that's the angle that I have to go on when I talk about that is like, yeah, engineering sort of the foundation, but when your business is growing and the world consciousness at large expects more out of products, that's where you have to develop new disciplines like industrial design, because you need every single advantage you can get on the competition to seize every dollar possible. So I think, like with the CIA basically having unlimited money and not power, well, maybe power, but manpower. It's like, of course you'd send people down all these ridiculous paths that might not make sense, but maybe they'll turn into something, you know?
Right. All right, let's keep going.
Pulled out of the regular school he was attending, and he had to go to some special school for the gifted, like he was an X-Man. And I am of the opinion, it's an opinion, I'm allowed to have it, it's obviously not a fact, but I am of the opinion, based on the discussions I had with him, that he's been monitored since. That his test scores, whatever the score, every test they probably did on him, he was off the charts, and they wanted to make sure that he was being watched. That's my theory in general on all kids that are in extraordinary and gate type programs. Maybe we should be training our kids to get like an 85% on the test. At most, before the government agents are going to swoop in and go, who is this genius child, you know? And a lot of weird things used to happen to Charlie. He would go on runs. I think I told you guys this, after sundown. And when he was running, street lights would go out. Like it was like he was in a burst of energy, like he was a lightning bolt or something. So to slow this down for you, there are, just in general, all of these inexplicable experiences that we have in life. And they try to make it weird for us to discuss them. Like just even being philosophical and thinking about these things for a long time, they don't want that. Deja vu is probably chief among them. We all have experienced deja vu. We are certain something happened, that we already did that, but it didn't actually happen. You're like, but I feel like it did. Oof, I just got a bad case of deja vu. Well, guess what? There's no official expert explanation for that. Sleep paralysis, for those of us who suffer that, I had some terrifying experiences before I knew what it was. They don't really give us a full explanation for that. Similar, also, another example of things that are inexplicable and maybe somehow related to deja vu. The story of how I met my husband. I've told it many times, how I got engaged 18 days later. No one believes me. They don't want to accept it, except maybe Charlie Kirk, because he was there for it. But I already knew George. That's how I describe it. I saw his face. I know that doesn't make sense, but it happened that way. I looked at my husband's face and I already knew him. It was like a sigh of relief. And yeah, there's other explicable events and things like Charlie telling me that he was going to die young.
I mean, I had sleep paralysis this week. I haven't had it for years. It was a little spooky to hear her bring that up after I'd already gone through it.
Well, it's funny because I was waiting for her to bring up synchronicity.
Right. Well, she said deja vu, and I was like, oh, yeah. Well, yeah, there's a thing called coincidence that it's just a coincidence. It's a coincidence. And then when conspiratorial people get in, they're like, there are no coincidences. And then there's another way of framing it by saying it's a synchronicity, which is to say it's a positive coincidence. It's a little wink from God or something like that, right? But I'm with her. Are you guys following? Like, I know she said some crazy stuff like Charlie Kirk blowing out light bulbs by running by them. I mean, he was that much of a Chad. It was just Agartha calling him home. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I don't know why. I was just picturing, like, he said Agartha. I was picturing Charlie Kirk on a run with, like, a beer helmet, but it's got white monsters in it.
Yeah. That's all it was. He was a white monster. I don't know what else I can tell you. He embodied the white monster. All right.
Anyway, today we are going to be showing you clips from a YouTube channel called Be Inspired. We're going to link it in the comments as well because they did such a fantastic job of diving into these phenomena and how they likely relate to another shady government CIA program, which came to be known as Project Looking Glass. This actually happened. These were whistleblowers that came out, like with all of these projects, people that are...
They weren't even whistleblowers. It was declassified. Project Looking Glass was a real thing. It was about allegedly about, I'm pretty sure this is Project Looking Glass, about using astral projection to spy on Russian missile installations. And it actually had some success.
I've seen the documents. I have them on my computer.
along with soon to be 10 gigabytes of Roblox porn when the government comes for you, right?
I downloaded off of their website.
I know, I'm just kidding. Yeah, all this stuff's available. It's all on FBI.gov, their reading room or their archive. I can't remember what they call it, but I mean, a lot of it's blacked out, but there's plenty in there. Like, it's fascinating.
In the military, scientists coming out and saying, hey, government has this technology and they can peer into the future. I'm sorry, what? What does that mean? Anyways, the narrator of this channel, who I could not find his name to save my life because there's multiple people that work this channel, but he begins by taking us back to the Y2K scare. You guys remember that? Of course, you remember the Y2K scare. I was actually scared. I was young. I was like, oh my gosh, I just want to die like this. I don't want to die just because it's mid.
She is so good at this. I'm just saying.
2000, and they were just kind of pumping all this fear into us. Anyway, let's jump right into this clip.
Let's start with Y2K. In the final months of 1999, there was a global concern that computer systems would fail when the date switched to the year 2000. All the software used only 2 digits to record years, so 2 nils might be read as 1900, potentially disrupting banks,
credit cards, and ATMs may cease to function.
Power grids, airlines,
airplanes, and trains may come to a halt.
Governments and corporations spent over $300 billion updating systems. It was one of the largest coordinated tech efforts in history. People stocked food, withdrew cash, and prepared for the worst. But when midnight came, almost nothing happened. The systems held, the world moved on. Still, That global moment left an imprint. Some view it as a psychological turning point, the end of the analog age and the quiet beginning of a fully digital world. From that point on, life accelerated. Culture, communication, and consciousness shifted onto screens, fast, constant, and increasingly disconnected from physical time.
Hold up. Let me take it back just about 10 seconds here. I want to hear that one more time.
Accelerated. Culture, communication, and consciousness shifted onto screens, fast, constant, and increasingly disconnected from physical time.
Why does this matter?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like time has definitely been on a fast track, and I don't think it's just like that psychological thing where time accelerates as you get older.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, social media, phones, screens, entertainment, everything is geared to speed things up.
Yes. Also, the thing that people who have lived in a world that is where the screen is ubiquitous, it's really easy to just think that it's just like an entertainment device or a way that you talk to your friends or do a podcast. I mean, that's how we do all of this, right? It's really easy to think that, oh, it's just a screen. But you have to imagine the power. Like, think about this, all right? In the before times, live television was new. Live radio was new. And there was a time when you didn't have live. Everything had to be pre-produced and then replayed at various distribution centers around the country called theaters. Now, if you lived in a time, for example, where you didn't have a screen and then you moved into a time where everyone had a screen, you have to understand what you're holding in your hand. It is a communication device. That just sounds so blasé. But you can beam information to a huge chunk of human consciousness simultaneously. Everyone was focused on Y2K. And then it was a nothing burger. But what did it make people do? It made them prep for the end of the world. And people say like, oh, 9/11 was a ritual. I mean, it's like the wrong word. Like, it's an antiquated term. It was a program. You saw those planes going into those towers over and over and over again for like 3, 4, 5 years. You still see it in memes, like SpongeBob flying a plane into the World Trade Center, right? But a mass media event that everyone sees and everyone gets hit with it all at the same time. What is that except for a mass weapon being used on human awareness and consciousness? I mean, I'm not trying to make this sound bigger than it is. It is extremely big.
Yeah, there's a baby schizo post running in my head right now.
Well, would you care to share?
Y2K, turn of the millennia, was a big bang. And we're witnessing the creation of a new world.
Now you're talking like a conspiracy theorist.
If you think biblically, like the way God created the world that we live in, it was ordered.
Mm-hmm.
And it took days. And it feels like with not just like AI and everything, AI is a great like visual example of the schizophrenia of creation.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say the last 26 years has been basically we're throwing all this information into a blender. It's almost like particles flying around in space, or like how they'd say the planets are created by things crashing into each other, gravity pulling in all these different directions. I think that's how I would characterize the 21st century, as we're witnessing the creation of a new world where at the end of it, whatever is at the top is in total control of our minds because it's created a microcosm of the universe that it has control over.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that's like through literal time travel or not, it doesn't really matter, because if your entire consciousness, all of your attention, all of your perception of time and everybody around you is distilled and put into the digital consciousness sphere, then you essentially will leave this world.
Yeah. Because ultimately, and this is where like the mass comms background comes into play a little bit for me, because there is ultimately one major question when it comes to what is mass media. It's a redirection of attention at a large scale. Well, let's be real. You know the phrase, the saying, if a tree falls in the forest and no one's there to hear it, did it make a sound? What's the answer to that question? Like, what do you think? What's the answer to that question? Did the tree fallen in the forest with no one to hear it, did it make a sound?
Well, I guess if you ask me, I would say yes, but the real question is, did it even happen then?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Did it even happen in the first place? Did the tree even actually fall?
Yeah.
If it falls, it still makes a sound, but did the tree actually fall?
That's right. If it happens outside of the perception of, you might say, human consciousness, did it happen, or was it always that way? Has the tree always fallen in the forest? Well, I mean, but that's the thing, because when you shift perspective and you go, well, from a physical and a logical point of view, yes, a tree must grow and then it must fall, and that's how you find a fallen tree in the forest. But if you're schizophrenically separating perception from reality, or say you're controlling only perception, at a certain point, you can tell anyone a story. Look at that rock over there. You know how that rock got there? Well, back in the day, Candace Owens was walking along a pathway and she took a rock out of her pocket and she said, "By God, here I will build a country." And she threw it on the ground. And now we call it Owens Rock. That's what's called a legend. Did it happen? Doesn't matter. If everyone believes it, that's Owens Rock. That's how every high place gets a lover's leap. There's a story about a couple. They threw themselves off of the cliff here. Did it happen? We don't know. But it's called lover's leap forever.
Well, I think that's like one of the core elements of this that I don't want to glaze over too much, but with a lot of like magic, as they would call it, what you do with your intention matters. And, you know, people talk about like manifesting things like money or success or whatever. But when you have mass consciousness all looking in one direction, focusing their attention, you have basically a super manifestation power. You know, I don't know why they choose to manifest retards on the streets in Minneapolis, but it's working.
Right. And that's a great example of what we're all talking about here now, isn't it? To some people, it looked like that woman was trying to escape and got shot unjustly by that officer. To others, it looked like she was trying to run the officer over. And people made up their minds almost instantly. Almost instantly. And there were people who were like, well, it's illegal to rev your engine at a police officer. So it's against the law, therefore it's wrong, and she should have been shot. And there's other people that say, well, he wasn't in any danger. She was trying to get around him. Shooting her was like a bit of a overreach now, wasn't it? Did he have to kill her? And that's where, you know, all the debate happens, and that's where the media makes its money, right? Is creating these dichotomies where people argue. It's a energy harvesting thing. As silly as that might sound, it's what it is. Because in the economy of information, attention is the currency. If you can get attention in this world of media, you can get almost anything you want. Just look at Nick Shirley. He went from nobody knows who this guy is to that guy will never look for a job again in his life. He could work for Fox News tomorrow as an anchor if he wanted to. But anyway, we should carry on. Mass media events are very important. It's worth its own deep dive, but I am afraid I might get a little too schizophrenic for that. Let's carry on here.
Some researchers believe Y2K wasn't about a bug at all, but a kind of global psychological reset, a ritual of fear, distraction and silence. The code may not have crashed, but something else may have been triggered. Our perception of time and reality. After something strange started happening online, people began noticing memories that didn't match reality. The most famous? The Berenstain Bears. Millions remember it as Berenstain with an E, but every book says Berenstain with an A, and that's just the beginning.
If you're running a simulation and you go back and you change some variables and you rerun the simulation, lots of little things could be different along the way, right? You have many different possible paths.
You have glitches in the matrix.
Exactly. You're now on this timeline, but you remember. You have like a deja vu, or you have like a weird memory.
Movie quotes, logos, product names, all different than we remember. Entire groups of people swearing something changed with no explanation. It became known as the Mandela effect, named after people who remembered Nelson Mandela dying in prison years before he actually did. What could cause something like this?
Are you familiar with the Mandela effect? Yeah. Of course. Millions of people remember certain events that never happened. And so how do you explain that? As we go through our conscious progression, as we raise consciousness, the way we perceive the world, and therefore all that will exist in our world, will morph to that new resonance as a sympathetic resonance. So certain aspects of the old world will just no longer exist. And so we can still have a phantom memory of those experiences, whether it's like Jiffy peanut butter or Luke, I am your father, which he never said that, right? All these things like that literally just like fall out of your new frequency, because everything in your world around you, including time itself, is retrocausal. The world around you that is no longer fitting your frequency will disintegrate and dissolve.
Okay.
Your thoughts?
Sorry, it just after all that, it just hard cuts back to Candace just like staring at the wall.
Yeah.
That's pretty schizo.
Yeah, it's pretty schizo. Daniel, what do you think? Pretty schizo?
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, yeah, it's definitely pretty schizo. I was like, man, that is a hard cut right to her, just looking like, oh, boy.
Now, the Mandela effect is interesting, but I think, and the reason it's so weird is because the story around it is just, it's an error, basically. It's not about reality. It's about how we form memories and how, this is beyond my pay grade, but it's about how consciousness works in groups. We all have collective memories about Star Wars and Darth Vader saying, Luke, I am your father. What did he actually say, Daniel? You're a big Star Wars guy, right?
I want to say it's no, Luke, I am your father.
Yeah. That's how I remember it. No, Luke, I am your father. And he's like,
I remember everybody else saying it, I'm your father, and that's about it, but it's it's actually I am your father.
Right. So how schizo do you guys want to get? Do you want to get like schizo, like real schizo, or do you want to see a Wikipedia page? That's pretty schizo, isn't it? You ever heard of brainwave entrainment?
Probably read about it at lunch at some point.
Brainwave entrainment, also referred to as brainwave synchronization or neural entrainment, refers to the observation that brainwaves, large-scale electrical oscillations in the brain, will naturally synchronize to the rhythm of periodic external stimuli, such as flickering lights, speech, music, or tactile stimuli. As different conscious states can be associated with different dominant brainwave frequencies, it is hypothesized that brainwave entrainment might induce a desired state. Researchers have found, for instance, that acoustic entrainment of delta waves in slow wave sleep had the functional effect of improving memory in healthy subjects. You remember what I said about Control, the game where they had the little frequency defense thing on their heart?
Yeah.
Brainwave entrainment, like a really simple way of understanding this, even though it's actually what it is, it's the beat to a song. You go to a concert and you don't have to tell people bounce at this time. They just bounce together, right? because there's an external stimulus that's causing them to do something. They just, oh, there's the beat, find the beat. And autistic people can't do it.
I feel attacked.
I don't mean it. I don't. It's people who are all in their head and all in their thoughts can't feel beats. Or maybe they just can't really dance. They call it overthinking. But say you were at the concert and everyone's bouncing along the beat, and then suddenly it goes from bump, 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 bump to right? You see? Everyone would go, what the hell is going on? Kill the DJ. Be like, what is he doing? Turn off his music. He sucks. Because when you're entrained and you're synced up with other people, synchronized, you don't actually have to think. You just do stuff. Now, if I said you can weaponize that, does that sound way too out there?
Not even close.
So, right. So, like, for example, the decades, right? The 40s looked one way, the 50s another, the 70s, 80s, 90s all looked different, didn't they?
Yeah.
And now everything kind of looks the same and has for about 25 years now, just about 26 years going on. The only difference is that we lost punk, we lost emo people, we lost anything that made people identifiably different, and now we're all just one collective of individuals.
Hold on 1 second, sir.
Yeah?
I'm going to correct you. The emo scene is still alive and well.
It's coming. I'm sure it's coming back, but it's removed. It's in like a pocket. There's pockets. I found a pocket of goth people the other day. I was like, holy shit, you guys are still around? You can find pockets of these things, and you can see Gen Z basically trying to be like, I bought a tape deck for my car, and I got a CRT TV, and now I'm playing Skyrim on it. Like, people are trying to hang on to these artifacts of the past, but there's no unity. The only thing that's unifying is that we're fighting over politics. There's no entrainment going on anymore. There's no rhythm to society anymore. It's like the music stopped and someone started playing the same sounds they played at the Waco compound through all our speakers. It's just utter chaos. Anyway.
Yeah, I think we should just keep going then.
All right.
So I'm not trying to start a world war in the comment section today, but Pikachu had black at the end of his tail. Obviously, I don't know when they hit delete on that button, but he definitely had black at the end of his tail. Some of these things just don't make any sense to me. And it's just amazing that we just sort of accept it and we just keep moving on. And when you start asking questions, they try to paint you with, no, don't ask the questions. Just keep going on. Let's just pretend. Let's just pretend that, there was no cornucopia. Anyways, this brings us obviously to the CIA's project Looking Glass. Essentially, there were these whistleblowers, like I told you, in the military and within the CIA apparatus that came forward to reveal that the deep state had a technology, which they stole, of course. Please do not miss the part that I keep explaining to you. These people are not smarter than you. They're just more evil. They steal, they plunder, and they steal things, and then they rewrite history and pretend that they were geniuses. Anyways, they have a knack for murder, they have a knack for theft, and this time, just like a lot of times before, they stole a device from the ancient Sumerian civilization that's located in modern day Iraq. Very advanced civilization. They're obsessed also with Egyptian civilization, as we discussed yesterday. The Satanists kind of taking and reintroducing these things. First, they keep them to themselves. They hoard these things, and then they kind of give us certain aspects of technology as time goes on. They steal this piece of technology and they incorporate it into a computer. And suddenly they're apparently able to predict future outcomes. Just imagine the deep state being able to look into a glass, so to speak. The Sumerian culture was known for their advancement in glass, and to see different outcomes. I mean, the amount of power that you would have, and then also fathom in your mind that the people that are Satanists have this power. Take a listen.
this is where things take a turn. Because according to Bill Wood, a former Navy SEAL with high-level clearance, the US military once had access to a device called Project Looking Glass, a technology that could supposedly view potential future timelines.
The project was shut down because there was a problem when we approached 2012. The timelines converge on that point in time. When you know how string theory works and how the possibility of possibilities works and how making one choice over here doesn't necessarily mean that the other choice couldn't exist at the same time. But once you get your brain wrapped around this subject, you find out that at the end of 2012, in an easy way to put it, the choices that we make become less and less consequential to the future. And eventually we're pushed into this bottleneck of time, no matter which choice we make.
Okay, so is that certainly 2012 in your understanding?
It's well coincides with December 21st, 2012.
So at that point, all possibilities lead to the same
timelines.
Rubicon.
All possible timelines lead to the same basic set of history in the future.
And after that, they shut it all down. Now ask yourself, why would a system like that be buried, and what exactly did they see? Because this isn't just about false memories or tech. It might explain why everything since 1999 feels frozen and artificial, like we're on rails in a version of reality that wasn't meant to last this long. And if you think that's wild, wait until you hear what else Looking Glass may have revealed. So what exactly did they see with Looking Glass? According to multiple whistleblowers, including Bill Wood and other interviewed by Project Camelot, every time they ran the device, no matter what variables they changed, all future timelines converged to a single fixed point. That point, somewhere between 2012 and 2016. After that, the future became unpredictable. No more branching outcomes, just a wall.
So it's super interesting that they couldn't see beyond 2012, or rather they could see beyond 2012, but maybe things became inevitable. That was backed up, by the way, by a lot of different things. Mayan civilization, the calendar, remember that whole scare? Why doesn't the calendar go beyond? So you arrive at this point and you wonder, what is this, right? Suddenly these people who are evil are no longer allowed or able to control outcomes, essentially, or perhaps, so maybe they did see something beyond 2012. But no matter what they did, they couldn't change the outcome of that thing that they saw beyond 2012. So it wasn't so much the future couldn't be predicted, but rather that they couldn't change it, like something was coming. That's how it kind of feels to me when I just examine everything that's going on. There is this panic, like evil is panicking right now, and they're making a lot of mistakes because they're no longer in control. And I would also add here that one of the things that I've noticed is that they're trying to turn us all, again, maybe this is their solution, where they're going, okay, what are we going to do? We can't change the outcome. Maybe we can just turn everybody into a computer program. Like they want us all to be the same. They seem to get really angry when we behave like humans. Like that's one of the things they're trying to triumph is our humanity. We talked about this a lot with the Charlie Kirk story, the reaction, how we felt icky, but they were like, what's wrong with you? How dare you feel icky? How dare you not like this? Don't you know this is what he would want? It's like their inability to defeat our humanity is angering to them. Now, something that was crucial, which was revealed about Project Looking Glass, was that the people who were in the room while this device was being operated, their conscious thoughts impacted the device, okay? So just imagine this. What they were thinking in the moment was changing future outcomes. Thoughts influenced future outcomes. That piece is super relevant to what we're going to discuss. And I
don't know if there is a device that they dug out of the Iraqi soil, okay? What this sounds like to me is an allegory.
For what?
For how all of history works altogether. How people think, what they think, and how they feel changes the future. It's that dumb. Right? Think about that. Again, going back to there's a screen of mass communication information at all time in your pocket that can change how you feel just by looking at it. For anybody on Robinhood, one day you look in the app and it's all green, and the next it's all red, and it changes how you feel. What does the line represent? It's your money, apparently. But what does it do? It gives you an emotional reaction, which if that thing gets red enough, it will ruin your day, maybe your life, depending on how much money you've put into Wall Street bets. Just expand that. Think about the movies that we watch, right? Everyone's frustrated by woke in the movies. And a lot of people are like, you just don't like the politics. We don't like it because it's not true. It rubs us the wrong way. It's icky. It's weird. Think about how different things would be if we didn't have going on 15 years of Hollywood getting worse. I mean, can you imagine? You ever see Easy Rider?
No.
Oh, I typed in IMDb wrong. Hold on. IDMB. It got me there, right? Easy Rider. This movie made boomers what they are. This movie and another one, I can't remember what it was, but it was about punks. And it made punks look cool. Two bikers head from LA to New Orleans through the open country and desert lands. And along the way, they meet a man who bridges a counterculture gap of which they were unaware. These guys, this kind of person was seen as like awful since like the 50s. It was not cool to go to jail. It was not cool to ride a motorcycle. This was like the antithesis of being a square. And then it came along and it made these guys heroes. To be counterculture is to be the hero. And then what do we have like since then? You're not cool if you're not counterculture. You're not cool if you're not the resistance against the empire. All the good guys are the rebellion. This is why, again, we talk about the post-World War II consensus and why it's so important to bust that up, because it's a paradigm shifter. It's a story that we've been told. It's a framing story that we've been told for half a century and more than half a century. It framed everything that we did. What do we got lefties out there screaming all the time? What's the word they like to use?
Well, it depends. Got Nazi.
There you go. That's it.
Supremacist.
That's the one. Nazi.
Fascist.
Nazi, fascist. Where are the Nazis? Adam, where are the Nazis?
I don't know.
They're dead, man. They lost the war. The Nazi party was destroyed. Utterly rooted out. And the ones we didn't kill, we put them in the space program, but that's something else, I guess. You see what I'm saying? So
Hold on, Aaron, though. Every libtard would tell me that they still exist in the White House.
Oh yeah, it's
and
you.
The color of his skin is orange.
Yeah, exactly. It's you and it's me and it's what is it? It's the framing story. They go, it's the empire. These are the stormtroopers. We're the resistance, the rebellion. I mean, they changed the rebellion to the resistance, right? Like, these are not small things. These are framing narratives that change how people think and thus change the future. People say movies are pre-programming. Yes. Yes, they are. They're called, technically speaking, they're called reference groups. Before the screen, everyone had reference groups, and they were like circles that expanded outward, and your smallest reference group was like your own perception, and then the next reference group, or your own perception as perceived by other people. The next one out was your immediate family, and the one outside of that was your village, and then outside of that was your nation, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the further out your reference group got, the more detached it became. Now, your reference group is in your phone. You check there to make sure your information is correct. You check there to make sure you use the word correctly. You check there to make sure you're going to be on time. Your reference group is in your pocket. So when that thing is controlled and everyone's seeing an algorithm, which gives the illusion that this isn't just another set of, the TV guide, because it's more complicated and more technologically advanced. When your reference group is in your pocket and it's coming from a central intelligence, so to speak, I wonder why everyone's kind of the same and they pick one of two sides. And if you could change that, you could change the future.
Yeah, and I could think of another reason that they would, if they had the ability to see into alternate realities with this device, whatever it is, at a certain point, it would be irrelevant. It wouldn't, which sounds crazy because it's like, well, why would you not use the device that can see into the future? Like whether or not it didn't work anymore, it's like, well, if you're going to leave this reality and create your own, then it's kind of obsolete.
Exactly. If you can create a matrix in which all people live, which is why all these red pill guys are like all into the matrix and you got to wake up from the matrix and get out of the matrix. They're right. But it's not a matrix in the Gnostic sense of like all of reality is a matrix. Not necessarily. I don't know. That's beyond my pay grade. But the information network is a matrix. To get out of it, you have to act human. You have to prove that you're human, which actually brings me to that hilarious Cernovich post that I stuck in the Telegram this week. See if I can find it real quick. I'll read it to you. Let's see.
Does she talk about where Charlie Kirk hid his time machine?
No. I wish she did, though, because I'd like to know we could go back and fix all this. So Cernovich was posting about an Indian guy using an AI program to turn himself into a white woman with cat ears on her headphones. And he said, what is the only way to prove you're human is to say N, and hence AI bots will make it so that the Overton window is broken as proof of real. What he's saying is that to prove that you're real, you have to do the things that no bot could be allowed to do.
Okay.
Are you disappointed with this point?
No, I think it's a great point. I'm just lost as to how this ties in with the Candace clip.
Well, she was just allegorizing exactly what I'm talking about by talking about something they dug up in Iraq, right? She's like, they have this device. It's like a conspiracy theory. They have this device where they can change the future, and it's super secret, and it's behind closed doors, and we had to get whistleblowers to tell us about it. And it's like, it's not, though. It's not. She's saying that their thoughts were changing the future in the device. And they said people in the room, their conscious awareness was connecting with this thing, and it was changing what was happening in this future. That's just an allegory for how the information grid works now, which is why people like Greenblatt are so freaked out about losing narrative control.
Yeah, I see what you're saying now. Like, you don't literally need this machine. It's
exactly.
A construct, like a mental construct.
Exactly. That's why I say control as an allegory for how the control the video game as an allegory for what the CIA was getting into is almost perfect. Because it's visual representations of things that they were just doing in people's heads. It's like, oh, here's a room where if you look at it one way, it goes on forever. And if you look at another, you can, fly and like jump from one side to the other. And it's all an illusion, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are things you can do with your mind. And that's why the CIA has you trying to see if you can see what's on the other side of that card. or construct a three-dimensional puzzle in a strange way, because it means you're an unusual thinker. You're outside of the entrainment of normal culture. Or Candace Owens is just crazy.
I think she's just having fun.
Well, all I'm saying is she's very, very close. And this might be the easiest way she can convey this information.
Yeah, I think that's part of the draw of like believing in like UFOs and time machines and all this stuff is you're right, it is an allegory, and the truth is much less impressive and has much less pizzazz to it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's what she's saying is still essentially true.
Yes.
It's just a more interesting way to talk about it.
She's giving you the movie version of it, is what's happening.
That's what makes her the most popular podcast on the planet.
That's right. Now we're at time, guys. But if you want to keep going, we can keep going, or we can end it right here. I'm sure people will want to hear the rest of this.
Does she have any like other banger lines in here?
So she talks about the God particle and CERN.
I want to hear what she says about that.
Daniel, you good on time?
Yeah, I'm good. You're good. Keep going.
All right, let's check it out.
Yes. Okay, so modern science kind of being run by Satanists, so obvious. Again, just go back and watch our episode on the moon landing and the rituals that they were doing. It's always been this way, and they're creating it because they want you to worship science. And that their ultimate test to see if they had succeeded in that, I feel like it was COVID, right? They stay inside, like they tried to make this a ritual, save lives. I mean, there was actually a really good article in the Spectator UK regarding how they tried to establish COVID to mirror a religion, the ritual of it, even having something you can wear, a mask to identify with one another. Anyway, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. Point being is that once you see that, you can't unsee it, that modern science is intentionally being created to conflict with God. And there are some really bizarre things that have happened, particularly, I would say, regarding CERN. What do you actually know about CERN? I'm going to bring Mark on to mansplain this, what CERN is and what they were involved in. And you guys kind of remember, we're trying to find the God particle. That was another push. Mark, jump on here and mansplain everything.
I'm happy to. And I just want to preface by saying I am not a particle physicist. So I just use particle physics recreationally. I'm a high school dropout. This is all on my own. But CERN was basically established in 1954 to research particle physics. There's something called the standard model of particle physics to kind of explain how everything exists and what it's made out of, to back up the Big Bang theory of creation. And one of the missing pieces was, how do particles that don't have mass attain mass out of nothing? And so in 1964, a group of scientists theorized that there's something called a Higgs boson. One of the scientists was named Peter Higgs, I believe. And so the search was on to find this particle. And so that's why CERN created the Large Hadron Collider, which is based in Geneva, Switzerland, and is a 17-mile tunnel underground, up to 600 feet underground in some places, where they shoot subatomic particles at each other at a very high speed to try and break them apart to see what they're composed of. And so in 2012, they observed a reaction that's consistent with this particle that was theorized back in 1964, that some people were calling it the God particle, to explain how something can come from nothing and essentially try and erase God from the story of creation to create a scientific explanation of it.
So in short, exactly. They're trying to be God. This is like the next step for them. We're controlling humanity. We're controlling their minds. Like, what can we do? What's the next step? We need to become creators of things on Earth. That's all the way, by the way, you guys, part of my conspiracy, why I'm like, have 12 kids. It's because they want to even control birth. They want to control dying. Like, they're debating, they always sell it as like, it's more freedom for you. No, it's more power for them. We're going to decide if you're allowed to be born. Everyone's going to eventually in the future need IVF, which puts them in a place of power. And then also, we're going to also tell you when you die, which is why they have now these pods, which is being debated. And
what?
She's going full Alex Jones.
She's going harder than Alex Jones has gone in a long time. Okay, that's an exaggeration. Yes, she is going hard as Alex Jones.
I mean, he was probably talking about this stuff when she was in grade school, but
Alex Jones learned about all this stuff. He explained it to everyone, and then he got bored with it because once you understand the story, it all makes sense, and it's not crazy. And it's also not like it's complicated. All this stuff seems complicated at first. And you can go through the conspiratorial stuff and like researching the Large Hadron Collider and Project Looking Glass and all that stuff. But it really just comes back to like freaking Bible stories. Like they built a tower that would reach to heaven. All right. It's a primitive representation and primitive attempt to do exactly what they're trying to do right now. It's ridiculous. Shall we carry on a little bit more?
Yeah, I feel like we need a good bookend here.
Daniel?
Yeah, by all means. I'm willing to finish this out. I'm curious.
All right.
First, the home of the pods, the death pods, Switzerland. Anyways, of course, the tunnel is underground. And it's interesting when you consider that they started searching for this particle when they realized, that's when the 70s is when they began this Looking Glass project, when they started, not the CIA's Looking Glass project, but when they first got this Sumerian technology hooked up with a computer. It's an interesting parallel, right? And I also wanted to tell you guys a little bit more about what happened with CERN, which I've always wondered about. It was a big WTF moment with these elites, and you might recall this happening in 2016, but maybe you weren't awake yet. They quite literally got caught, and I think it was some worker that was walking around doing this nighttime ritual satanic ceremony gathered around the statue of Shiva. Interesting for those of you that are following our Becoming Brigitte series. In season 2, I went into Dionysus, the god of Amiens, which was from that town where weird things happen, and that's where both Brigitte and Emmanuel are from. Well, Shiva in the Hindu faith, if you look it up, this would be the nearest equivalent. Dionysus being like god of wine and revelry. Shiva would be the equivalent here. Anyway, they got caught literally in the middle of a satanic human sacrifice ritual. And I'm just going to read you this article verbatim because otherwise you won't believe me. Okay. This took place. CERN discovers satanic human sacrifice taking place at the Large Hadron Collider grounds. Okay. A satanic human sacrifice, it reads, has been staged on the grounds of the European Organization for Nuclear Research, the home of the Large Hadron Collider. The footage shows which I'm going to show you guys, a cloaked group wearing...
She has the footage.
I feel like I've seen pictures of this, but I haven't seen a video of it.
Long flowing black robes. One of them has on hiking boots underneath. They're seen walking around before a woman moves onto the floor and then is stabbed. But the footage, then the person who's recording it, you're going to see the drop and they're like, what the heck happened? And they are obviously scared. So when they got caught with this, I want you to know they come out and they say, oh, that was a prank. I'm sorry. It's
just
a massive
prank,
statue,
bro.
as you're about to see.
Or it could be a bunch of nerds like role playing.
Yeah.
You just saw the random guys in the field LARPing.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be a mega nerd to work at CERN, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, it's true.
Leading scientists in the world decided to meet by the cloak of night to do a prank. And someone at the facility gave a statement and said the PR guy said they were taking their sense of humor too far by staging a satanic ritual. I'm sorry. Is this an acceptable excuse? This is like when a pastor finds $300K behind a toilet. We're going to need a little bit more here. Is the woman still alive? We can't even tell if this was a fake stabbing in this video. The leading scientists of the world, and they admit, by the way, we're really concerned about security. We don't know how this video got out. It wasn't like this prank was intended for the world. Somebody who worked there recorded it, got it to a YouTuber who then published it. And their response was to say, that was a prank. Don't ask any more questions. Let's move on. And the media just backed him up. It was a prank. Yeah. So we're going to take a look at this ceremony, which again is taking place under a Hindu deity. And the spokesperson
just play it, please.
It's
Come
real.
on.
I know.
And this person had
We're
no
on the edge of
permission
our
to
seats
record
here.
it. and there was obviously, therefore, had no permission to have it published. Take a look at this, and I'm going to have to talk through it in case
Oh my
people are listening
God.
on audio, but you really should try to tap in and watch this on video as well. Okay, so it's a massive, massive statue. That's just to start. Are we bringing this in as a part of the prank? I don't know. There is a woman, there's a bunch of people that are in black robes, and some of them have hoods up. And then there's a woman that's wearing all white in the center of it. And they are now encircling this woman, and she's like laying flat on the floor as somebody is circling around her. I think he might be holding some fire. And then, it looks like she gets stabbed. I'd like to know where that woman is today. If this was a prank, you then hear heavy breathing and you hear...
Here's my question. Could the ritual sacrifice guy not wear sneakers?
I think she said they were hiking boots.
Hiking boots?
I mean, it all looks very silly.
It does look very silly.
I don't know about you, but that looks like some, what's it called? I'm thinking Timberlands, but that is not the sneakers I'm thinking of.
What's most important about the satanic ritual at CERN is that we identify the shoes.
Well, I was going to say Vans, like high tops. Just sitting out there.
To be quite frank, it does look like a prank. It looks like something theater kids would do, doesn't it? I literally saw theater kids doing shit like this at my college. Like, it was frequent enough that it became a joke. But, for me...
the stab looks wrong.
It does.
The stab looks half-assed. The fact that she still has her clothes on and being sacrificed is another thing. I don't know. If every anime and, like, movie ritual that they would show those scenes is that the woman is always stripped down to nothing.
True.
Isn't that also symbolism in its own, why they do that?
Well, I mean, like, in the best possible light, if this is a prank, all these people should be fired at the very least.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what kind of... This is CERN. There are cameras all over the place. What, did they shut off all the security systems to do this?
I don't know. It just...
I don't doubt that there's horrible, weird, dark stuff going on. Maybe with this kind of ritual, like, you don't actually have to... I don't know.
To me, it's all a bit cartoony. You know, it's like, it's a little too perfect that they wear cloaks and they're in black and it's out in the open with the lights on. Where are the candelabras? Where's the style, man?
They have the dollar, like, cheap little candle wicks on the ground over there that are like a quarter size.
Yeah.
And then they have a retractable knife. That's the dagger.
And that's what it looks like. Like the little stab. What is it? What? Unless, like, come on. Look at this. Here we go. Whoop.
It looks like somebody who's never done it before try to stab somebody, and it just looks awkward and doesn't look right. Something's off about it.
But I think this is also kind of a good example of what we were talking about perception shifting reality. Or,
right.
Like what Candace was even talking about, where like, oh, if people were in the room with this crazy machine, their thoughts interfered with it or made things happen.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe at this stage they realize you just need to act it out in order to make it happen.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Of course. It all starts as a LARP. It's all just funny. It's a LARP. I get it.
So she said that it was a prank later, right? That this person was claiming it was all a prank.
No.
Or was it the people in the robes are saying it was a prank versus the guy who recorded it?
That's right. The people in the robes, their higher up said, "Oh, it was a joke that went too far."
God, it would have been even crazier if they all chased the guy and said, "Bro, it's just a prank. It's just a prank," and he had that on film.
Yeah.
Because then that's like, all right, maybe there's a little bit of legitimacy behind it, but it's just later on by another corporation. Oh, it was in bad taste. I'm sorry.
Yeah. See, this is where people who are getting really close discredit themselves because you don't actually like I'm very much like this is either a prank or it's fake. There's no way a person is being ritually murdered here. Am I suspicious of the people doing all of this and the people in the upper echelons of science? Of course I am. Of course I am. Do I think they do things like this? They do this stuff every day in the name of science. Ritual human sacrifice doesn't have to be a bunch of dudes standing in a circle in front of a statue of Shiva stabbing a girl in the chest. It could just be called Canadian healthcare. Right?
Fair enough.
They're actually gassing people in Canada. A lot of them. It's like one of the leading causes of death in Canada is medical assistance in dying. Right? That's a real thing. That happens every day. And we're okay with it because it's all correct. It's all in a scientific setting. There's a doctor involved, so you know it can't be bad. It has instruments.
The best way I can put this is that I believe guys in Vietnam using the red night vision, seeing demons and fighting them over this is actually real and not a prank.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Is like Candace here, again, she's extremely good at this and she's getting close to something. I don't know what. But like her instincts are solid. She's dancing around something right now that's known. You know, like ritual events in history like 9/11 and Y2K. Okay, you can call them satanic rituals. But what if I told you they were actually really effective, just like propaganda runs of a type that's not really ever used or not used very often? You know, it's like what she's talking about is that the government discovered a compound that can produce infinite energy or it can nuke Japan. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense, Adam? Or did I lose you?
It's not your fault. I got lost in my thoughts.
Okay, but what I'm saying is like it sounds conspiratorial to say we have the power to give everyone infinite energy forever, but it can also be used to wipe entire cities off the map with one push of a button. Like when you say it like that and you don't know it's a nuclear bomb, or if you didn't know it was a nuclear bomb I was talking about, you'd be like, wow, what is this? That sounds like made up.
It sounds like
I was about to say that sounds like I was going to say it sounds like Chernobyl.
Right. So when I say
the power in the hands to give everybody the power for the rest of life, but at the same time, it's a literally ticking time bomb if it's not done properly, and no one keeps a good eye on it.
Right. So when people say pre-programming, Mandela effect, ritual, like giant satanic ritual in the news, that's what 9/11 was and all that stuff. They're not wrong. Their terminology is just antiquated.
I still think there's value to using those terms, though.
Yeah.
Because it paints it in a certain character light that tells you more about it than just being like, oh yeah, you can use Gemini to ask questions about how to build your computer. It's like, no, it's literally like a fabricated like demon.
Well,
that
yeah,
is harvesting your information when you use it. So it's a Faustian deal. So it's like these terms aren't useless just because we have new ones.
Of course.
Like calling an AI agent is much more marketable than calling it what it is.
Yeah, just like maid sounds like you're just cleaning up.
Yeah.
All this stuff. It's amazing what framing can do. And that's why I harp on and on and on and on about PR. Because all it is it's narrative framing. And you know who was the master of the narrative frame? the master of framing, Scott Adams, who went to that great office building in the sky. And it was very, very sad, quite frankly. But he was closer than a lot of people think. And he said something that I'll never forget years ago. At the beginning of COVID, when everyone thought the world was coming to an end, he said he had spoken to a person in intelligence who told him about extrasensory perception, or ESP. And he said he went from thinking that hypnosis was just a parlor trick to understanding that it controlled the planet. And then he said he was going to tell everyone what that was within like a week. And I'm pretty sure he took it to his grave. So all I'm saying is that Scott Adams might hold the secrets to everything that Candace Owens is searching for. And it may be in his simultaneous sip.
So we got to set up a Scott Adams summoning circle with a mug.
Hello? Adam? You got really quiet all of a sudden.
Oh, well, what I was saying was we have to set up a Scott Adams summoning circle.
Yes.
With a mug, a flask,
a tankard, chalice, or stein, a vessel of any kind.
But he likes coffee, so make sure you put that in the middle.
Exactly. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us on the schizophrenic episode of the Clowntown Chronicle. It's not always this crazy, only when Candace wants to go that nuts. Hope you enjoyed yourselves, guys. Remember to let us know in the comments whether or not you did. And remember to donate to the show. There's a link in the description for that. Send us a note. A few dollars here and there really, really does help. And like Daniel said, you're going to get your returns pretty soon. And we wouldn't want you to get too rich, because then you might, I don't know, challenge the government with power or something.
Just cue the arms of an angel and ask about, you can pay a starving podcaster.
Yes. And here's another idea. Just get someone to say you look like Mario and sue them. And then you become like a mega donor. And if you don't feel like just giving us money, there is, of course, the clowntownchronicle.com/loot, where you can get a mug or a sticker. With all that being said, everybody, I hope you have a great week. This has been the Clowntown Chronicle. Remember to like, rate, subscribe. Bye-bye.
White butt statue.
So prolific with the words.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Strudel believes there should be some limits